Hi there, my name is Tom and I love wrenching on cars. I like all kinds of cars, but prefer turbocharged ones. I've been posting up build stories on my website for a long time, but now I'm trying something new, video. In the last video, we worked through our list of remaining to-dos in order to get the Talon ready to race. Among those things were converting to speed density to allow us to run more boost, strengthening the ignition system with the parts you see here, chasing down a boost leak, building a new turbo intake, and then giving the car a complete checkup. I've always loved drag racing. I love other types of racing too, but there is something very personal when two people in their cars square off against one another. It's such an honest, pure form of competition. I've always known it to be a great measure of a car's performance. Back when I would read car magazines as a kid, I would immediately flip to the results so I could see the 0 to 60 in quarter-mile times. Heck, I still do that today. I love that you can't cheat it. Folks can brag about dyno numbers and stuff all day, but when you have an impressive time slip, that is the end of the argument. But too many people I've met write off drag racing as simple and pointless. Bah, anyone can pull up to the light and floor it. My grandma could do that. These folks haven't tried it. They haven't experienced the adrenaline rush. The feeling of nailing the launch and hitting your shifts just right. The feeling of lining up against a car that has been slightly faster than you all night and beating it. Although I had drag raced many times before in a couple different cars, it was November 2001 at Bradenton Motorsports Park when I really got hooked. I was driving my old 1989 Mitsubishi Mirage that I swapped a 4G63 engine into. It was the first time I'd raced it, and it was an incredible day at the track. The modification list was short: a 16G turbo, a stock DSM intercooler, Walbro fuel pump, alcohol injection, a 2.5-inch exhaust, and a tiny set of slicks on the front. Here's a run from that day. After each run, I had tons of people coming up to the car and crawling all over it, trying to figure out how it ran so good. What blew everyone's mind was that it looked 100% stock. I loved the sleeper aspect and the fact that no one saw it coming. I could go on all day about the fun times I've had at the track over the years. The truth is, it's tougher to go now that I've gotten older, responsibilities are much greater, and time is limited. I miss the days when I could just roll out of bed and decide to go racing on a whim. Back then, the car setups were much simpler and were pretty much always ready to race. Oh, and I especially miss living near a great quarter-mile track. Currently, I have one 1/8-mile track that is 45 minutes away, and the beautiful Bristol Dragway, which has a limited schedule and is 2.5 hours away. For this video, I chose to stay closer to home and headed over to Knoxville Dragway. When I arrived at Knoxville Dragway, I was first in line at the gate. This is a great 1/8-mile track that was recently bought by new owners who have made many improvements. This track is very popular, but on this night there weren't many cars, so I got to make mostly solo runs. I didn't have great expectations, as I was still working on my tune and was running a conservative 27 pounds of boost. I was also running a 50-50 mix of 93 octane pump gas and 110 octane race fuel, in case I wanted to turn up the boost a little bit. Alright, it was finally time to make a pass with my new setup. I was terribly excited as I pulled up to the staging lanes. Here we go. On this first pass, I wanted to leave the line easy without destructive wheel spin, but I did just the opposite. As I feathered the clutch, it jumped straight to 9,000 RPM, and it took me a moment to realize what happened, and then finally shift to second. I didn't expect it to do that. So this run ended up with a slow 2.1 60-foot time onto a 7.64 seconds at 104 miles per hour. I knew the bigger turbo would be tricky to launch. After the last run, I lowered my launch RPM a bit and in return got a long bog off the line. Judging by my red light, anyone could see that I hadn't been to the track in a long time. I had some serious rust. Here's the time slip from this run. Still a crummy 60-foot time, but a very good trap speed. I remember when going this fast in the quarter mile was an accomplishment. This run was scary. It's hard to see in the videos, but when I hit second gear, all four wheels were spinning. It was bouncing off the 9,500 RPM rev limiter, and the car was sliding to the right. I got back into it in third gear and it broke loose again bad, scaring the heck out of me. After this run, it became very clear that I need some sticky tires before I go racing again, so I called it a night. So what did I learn? Launching this car with the newer big turbo takes practice. You can't just slip it out of the hole and have boost on the ready, as I used to do for so many years with small turbos. My next order of business is going to be getting some 15-inch racing wheels and sticky tires to go with it. Also, I am very happy with the mile per hour. It shows we're making great power, with lots more room to turn up the wick. Speaking of power, the delivery is so different, I need much more practice to get good at launching this thing. I'm fine once I get going, but getting that 60-foot time down is critical. After the winter months, my next stop with the Talon will be at Bristol Dragway. Yes, I'll be returning to the track that's been very cruel to this car twice before. It'll be worth it to let this car breathe in the quarter mile though. Hey everyone, I wanted to let you know that we have cruised right past 1 million views on all my videos and now have over 1,300 subscribers. I wanted to thank you and say this is really a lot of fun. Also, please join me on my Facebook page. Send me some pictures of your car or of you racing or whatever you got. I'd love to see it. I'll post updates about things going on in the garage or other fun stuff that I think you'll like. The address is below here somewhere. Over here? I don't know. So hit me up on there, will you? So with that said, thanks again folks. See you next time.